Some people think cars are just rolling hunks of metal, but then there are some people like us who really like these rolling hunks of metal for some reason. But how in the world did it get to this point? Every car guy goes through 5 stages of life, going from an absolute idiot to a certified professional. This is usually how it starts. Level 1, freshie. At this stage, you're straight out of mama's womb, and you haven't developed a love for inanimate objects yet. But then, one day, you came across a YouTube video about a Lamborghini or some shit. Your dopamine receptors instantly get overloaded, and you're thinking, wow, that's kind of cool. I like how that makes me feel. Pretty soon, you're watching a bunch of car YouTubers and movies and learning about all sorts of things. The jokes about blinker fluid go directly over your head, unfortunately. You can't get a driver's license yet, so you decide to put playing cards on your bike spokes, just to feel something. But after a few years, you finally pass your driver's test, and you get to whip your mom's 2010 Honda Odyssey. You find an empty parking lot and rip the e-brake, convinced you just hit the sickest drift. But in reality, you just look like a chud. It's around this point in the first stage, you figured out how to manually shift your mom's automatic car. So of course, you're banging gears like nobody's business, redlining it every chance you get. Going 20 over in a school zone isn't ideal, but how would people know you're a car guy otherwise? That's when the red and blue lights tend to show up in your rear view mirror. Car guy level 2, Tacky cosmetics and LARP. You're finally coming to your senses and realizing that your mom's front wheel drive Honda Odyssey isn't quite cutting it anymore. Your dopamine receptors just aren't quite as sensitive as they used to be. Even though you already told your friends about the eBay turbo setup you were about to order, something massive changed. Facebook Marketplace. Your screen time went from 3 hours a day to 7. Something about this beautiful app just makes it impossible to put the phone down. You keep sending your friends some crazy deals, ignoring the don't ask for title if you know in the description. Some time passes, and you finally saved up enough money for that manual 90s Honda Civic you were playing iTag with for a couple of months. After picking it up for $1,800 and a Red Bull, you drive straight to AutoZone. Aisle 5 has you in a chokehold. It feels magnetic. Finally, you can mod your car just like Fast and Furious. You pick a steering wheel cover and some fuzzy dice for $22. These mods are going to impress the hell out of the huzz. The cherry on top is a Black Ice Little Trees air freshener. After all these sick mods are installed, it's time to do some power mods. Oil change. At level 2, this is a big step for you. You've always heard about the importance of oil changes, but you've never gotten down and dirty with a car before. You're finally about to lose your mechanic virginity. This is huge. You pull up a very detailed 10-second oil change TikTok and get to work. It's sometime around here where you start to realize that this ain't all sunshine and rainbows. You're getting about as dirty as crud, and wiggling around another car looking for the oil filter isn't very comfortable. This does not feel like Fast and Furious at all. The oil drain plug blends in with all of the other bolts under the car, so you decide to turn all of them until oil comes out. It takes you way longer than the 5 minutes you prepared for, but now everything is done. The only thing left to do is to turn on the car. This has now turned into one of the most stressful scenarios you've ever faced in your whole life. What the heck is gonna happen when you turn on the ignition? Is it gonna turn over like nothing ever happened? Is it gonna blow up? The car was absolutely fine. Now that you've got a running Civic, it's the perfect time to show it off a little bit. It's hard to decide whether to go to a street takeover or a car meet. If you chose to go to the street takeover, you would land yourself in jail after a few front wheel drive donuts, while the car meet might put you in a worse situation. Once you pull up to the car meet, you'll start to realize that there are levels to this car guy shit. The steering wheel cover and fuzzy dice aren't gonna cut it anymore, because Kyle over here with the V6 Charger has his lowering springs with power mods such as a cold air intake. These cars defy everything you've ever known about what is possible with cars. You see dudes with suspension so low that they're scraping on the ground. There's people with cars so loud you can't even hear your buddy who's standing right next to you. And then you got cars producing the most mesmerizing noises you can even think of. Something along the lines of and then some land yacht is talking about. This is when the true awakening begins. You're now ready to take your car knowledge to the next level. Once you get home, you call your buddy and tell him to bring over the Sawzall, because you're about to do unspeakable things to your exhaust. Once you roll your car up on some cinder blocks, you spot the solution to all of your problems: a muffler. So like any other reasonable guy, you cut that right the hell off and start up the car. This sounds like straight, but it'll do. You and your buddy go for a drive, and that is droning so badly it's vibrating your brain. You guys have fun for a while, but you already need more dopamine. So you and your buddy head back to the Sawzall and do some suspension mods. After some OSHA violations and unsafe spring cutting, your car is slammed. This looks and sounds awesome. You guys decide to drive it to AutoZone for some more aisle 5 cosmetics, and this thing handles like absolute Level 3, the first correct mods. Many months pass, and you're still driving around in your bumpy, stiff, loud, fart can, blown speaker Honda Civic. Your developing prefrontal cortex is beginning to realize that maybe your mom was right about this car being a chudmobile. Maybe she wasn't just trying to spike your cortisol. Maybe she was right. You decide it's time to put on the big boy pants and throw on some real mods. You've been watching some more tasteful content, cleansing your palette with videos from creators such as Donut Media and Hoonigan. Now that you've seen all these videos, you're pretty sure you know what's good and what's not. At this stage of Car Guy, there's 2 directions you can go. One of the options is sending your car to a shop and having them do stage mods or whatever the hell that shit is. If you choose this path, then that's about as far as you get as a car guy. But the other option is for you to step up to the plate and figure this crap out yourself. So you decide to start with a real exhaust. You call your sister's boyfriend who supposedly knows how to weld. You tell him you need a straight pipe your shit. You guys grab one long ass pipe from Home Depot and stick it right where the cats are supposed to be. Now you've got a mint straight pipe. But wait, this isn't everything. You run to the mailbox and grab the package that just got delivered. It's the Alibaba cold air intake. Holy, you're about to make some chassis twisting power. You open the hood, throw out that old useless stock air box, and chuck in the new cold air intake. You never knew air could sound so dang good. Your car is now making loud whooshing sounds. This is awesome. You're convinced you're running a 4-second 0 to 60 now, but it's still not enough. Your next paycheck hits and you know exactly what you're spending it on this time. Congratulations, you've just copped your first set of lowering springs. Sure, they're cheap, but your car is gonna look so sick. Holy. They arrive at your house, you open the box and stare at them. They're perfect, but there's one setback. How the are these gonna get in the car? A new character has appeared, Chris Fix. You don't think much of this dude at first, but you guys are gonna get to know each other very well. You call your buddy saying something along the lines of, yo, you wanna toss in these lowering springs on my car? Should take about like 30 minutes or something.
After the 4th hour, you snapped a bolt.
No worries though, because it looks like Chris Fix made a video on how to fix a snapped bolt. 8 hours later, you've got your car on lowering springs. This thing looks awesome, and it's gonna drive nicely too. You sit back and admire it, whipping out your phone to get some photos for the story. #blessed or something. Although the lowered whip looks sick, this thing is an actual fishbowl. You get a roll of 5% tin off Amazon, slap it on, and it looks really cool from the outside. It's kind of hard to see considering how dark it is and how many bubbles are in it, but it's probably still worth it. But now it's time for some tasteful comfort mods. How about a ported 12-inch subwoofer? Installing this thing was an absolute pain in the ass. Not because it was hard, but because you were too scared to touch any of the wires. Finally, your car is mint. This thing is really coming along at stage 3. You decided to start investing in premium fuel because that'll make it go faster, right? You pull up on a BMW 325i thinking that this dude will be light work. You guys agree to race for pink slips and stomp the gas at the same time. But unfortunately, his intake makes a whining noise. The dude absolutely smokes you, and the worst part is he doesn't even want your pink slips. You're back to the start, but this time you have a plan. Level 4, the humble car guy. After that tragic loss, you've been consuming car media for hundreds of hours at this point, and you're pretty well versed in the car world. You no longer fall for the blinker fluid tricks or any of the other joke nonsense, and your car taste is refined, and you know your way around a ratchet. You're putting logical mods on your car and just installed your first set of high quality coilovers. While it didn't take you 8 hours, it did take you longer than you estimated, but every car project does. You also ordered some tasteful bolt-on mods, such as a new intake, exhaust manifold, gauges, oil cooler, and more cool shit. Your fabrication skills are much better now, so you manage to route your intake to a proper spot for actual cold air instead of directly next to your exhaust manifold. You've also learned that cars are money pits, and you've taken up a new high-paying job to keep up with your desire for cars. Although you still run to your local junkyard to find cheap parts you need. You're now tricked out with a sick all-white BMW E30. You bought a sick body kit off eBay, but it came in a cardboard box all folded up in a ball. It doesn't really matter though. You put it on your car and it looks clean as crap. People are actually complimenting your car for once. This is awesome. You've also pieced together a better exhaust with high-flowing headers, a premium muffler and resonator, as well as some high-flowing sport cats. You're getting the hang of things now, and now your car doesn't sound like it's shitting itself all the time. Although it is leaking pretty badly. That's one thing you can't quite figure out. It must be some sort of BMW tax or something. One thing you have figured out though is your addiction to brake cleaner. Oh, brake cleaner. After many sleepless nights of working on the car, the brake cleaner always hits right. Speaking of brakes, you did an RX-7 front caliper swap on your E30, and this thing actually stops now, and the brakes don't fade while you're canyon carving. You've now matured a little bit, and you rarely attend car meets anymore. Now you spend your time at track days socializing with all the big shots. You now have a certain aura that is complemented by the brake cleaner stench. Anytime you're in an AutoZone or O'Reilly's, the workers know you by name. Every time you attend a track day, you learn more about yourself as a driver and more about your car and how to improve it. You now understand that even something as simple as choosing the right tire will greatly improve the feel of your car. You start working on more preventative mods and suspension mods to help with handling. You're now bulletproofing your car rather than chasing more horsepower. This thing is awesome. Level 5, absolute ball knowledge. If you've made it to stage 5, you are absolutely balling out. Your car knowledge has surpassed the aftermarket manufacturers, so you're fabricating new car parts to fit your exact needs. You're doing engine swaps that nobody has even thought about. All of those track days you've attended helped you get close with some of the best tuners in your area. And now you're bringing a car to the dyno every other month. You've even tuned a couple cars yourself. You now know how to actually love a car and how to diagnose the problems in seconds. At this level, your daily might be a gutted out Honda Civic with forged internals, a huge turbo, and a dog box transmission. Or maybe it's just a near stock car with a couple of mods. Either one shows just how much of a car guy you are. Your main car hobbies now revolve around joining car events, showing off how sick your car build is at a car show, competing in time attacks, but there are some car guys who have reached the peak of the car world and now simply enjoy watching others from the driver's seat of their Honda Odyssey.
Like and subscribe and join the channel membership for exclusive sneak peeks and maybe even get some videos early.